what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. The only thing that's going to free us is the truth. And apparently, that is exactly what's happening. So yes, yesterday, a lot of big things occurred. Big things. You won't catch it in the mainstream media. I don't know what Fox News is doing, but it was big. In the Georgia hearings today, they literally hacked the Dominion system. They got in there in less than 10 minutes. They single-handedly hacked it and proved how easy it is to hack these systems. Furthermore, that then resulted in now a full forensic signature audit of the Georgia votes. This, my friends, is the bombshell that we've been waiting for. The opportunity to see that these machines are flawed. Now, there's no hiding it. That video's out there. The videos, several media outlets that are right-leaning actually chose to do their job, which is reporting. This is a major bombshell. This is something huge. I don't know why they're not paying attention to it. I don't know why Fox is not reporting on it. Nevertheless, I normally don't get shocked with a lot of things. I mean, that left me a little shell-shocked, but I was expecting something today, as I told you guys. I mean, yesterday, as I told you guys, I had spoken to a source that told me, and this is the beginning. There's going to be other things that have nothing to do with politics, some to do with politics. It's going to be a very interesting week. I will tell you that much. Especially interesting New Year. That being said, interesting enough, I rarely get shocked by politicians. But Mitch McConnell went ahead and he created his own bill. He put it on the table. And apparently the bill goes and furthermore into what Donald Trump wants. So now I'm in a point where I am confused. What is Mitch McConnell's play here? What is the play of the Democrats? What is the motive behind this? Is McConnell working with Trump on something? I'm so confused on the way these politicians are acting. I understand that he was able to push a little bit, push more things that were part of Trump's agenda. And I see that. I don't know if he purposely put that out there because he knew there wouldn't be enough time to sign off on it. I do not know what the whole reasoning is behind this. I'm still trying to dig into it. I know we are having issues with Biden, apparently on Zoom calls. Apparently, a reporter starts questioning lack of transparency, and then you have Biden's team disabling a Zoom call. I mean, this just shows you he can't even handle a couple tough questions, which is extremely embarrassing for anyone who is president-elect, even if he's a legitimate president-elect. Again, and then I want to jump to the biggest hypocrite that we have of all time, Alec Baldwin. I don't even know why I have to bring this guy's name up. He had a career at one point. Now all he knows how to do is do impersonations of Donald Trump, and apparently the left loves it. So he's got support of the left. Apparently he has an anger issue. I would love for him to express that anger issue with me. I'd retaliate in a pretty manly way. But, punks like that never really do anything. Apparently, his wife is as phony as Dr. Joe Biden. Doesn't surprise me. This is what the left does. They're hypocrites. They deflect or reflect whatever they're feeling, and then they go ahead and they deflect it upon others. So whenever you see a leftist call you racist, most likely is because they are the ones that are racist. Apparently his wife's name is not really Hilaria. She's not really Hispanic, which is offensive to me who is Hispanic. Her name is Hillary. So That being said, is there going to be any consequences for this? Where's the outrage from the left? This is offending me as a minority now. She's using the fact that I'm my Hispanic minorityness in this country, and she's trying to use it to make herself look like a minority like me. I'm offended. I'm upset. How can this be? Yeah, this is the exact hypocrisy the left always does. They get caught every single time. They step on their own feet all the time. Alec Baldwin is a punk, just like Robert De Niro is another punk old man that thinks he is actually the mobster he plays in movies, threatening to punch the president of the United States in the face. Man, you can't even get up off your chair. You're too old. Let go. It's over. As Eminem would say in one of his rhymes. It's completely and utterly ridiculous. I mean, these celebrities on the left, they really think people care, or they actually think America cares about what they think. This is the saddest part about it all. It's actually gotten so far into their head that they think that they actually have some sort of control or power where people actually take them serious when they're talking about politics. Yeah, no one gives a fuck about what LeBron James thinks. No one gives a fuck about, I don't know, Alec Baldwin or what he thinks, or Michael Rappaport and his ridiculous rant and his uneducated comments that you can tell the guy doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. But again, these are people that are irrelevant to Americans. They're out of touch with Americans. And honestly, I don't even look at them like Americans. If I really want to break it down, they're part of a class that's unlike any other class in this country. It's the class that despises us. Therefore, since they look at us like we're below them, I will look at them the same exact way. No, I will not take the high road. I'm sorry. I'm petty. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm petty. I will attack. I will hold a grudge. I am not going to take the higher ground. I don't give a fuck. I will call it for what I see it. And at this point, all I see is a party gasping for air. That is what I see. I see the left gasping for air, trying to figure out any which way to keep their party together, to make everyone happy, and it's not going to work. Their party's already divided, just as divided as the Republican Party. And I am very proud to announce that Senator Hawley, which I think this guy's going to be a superstar. Mark my words, this guy's got potential. He's got a different view on things, extremely smart man. And he seems to have a lot of common ground with my beliefs. He says he will challenge the Electoral College results for Donald Trump. So now you have it. We have another person that's on board. I believe Lindsey Graham will jump in. I think he will. I think Ted Cruz will jump in. And I think several others will jump in. This will inevitably end up in the Supreme Court. Now, just so you guys can know, this is not the first time this has happened in history. 1876, 118 days of investigations until we finally knew who the president of the United States was. So that being said, interesting enough, Georgia runoffs are coming. I have no doubt in my mind, and you can call me out later on it if I'm wrong, that Republicans are going to win by a landslide. Just because I know Georgia is not a purple state. I know Georgia is a red fucking state. And I know that the election was completely and utterly rigged for Joe Biden to win. Bottom line. And those Republicans that did vote for Donald Trump, and now that we have all eyes on Georgia, they're not going to be able to commit the same fraud that they committed before. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
Sad to see what's going on. on other news, sad to see what's going on in Los Angeles. Apparently, hundreds of arrests have been made for COVID violations. This is the world we're living in, the authoritarian world that we are living in. The same thing the left and Antifa preach so much about and what they're so anti is exactly what they are doing. What they accuse Donald Trump, again, deflection. What they accuse Donald Trump of doing is exactly what they are doing. They are acting like authoritarians and they are ruining people's lives. They're ruining people's criminal records. They are ruining their credit. They're ruining their businesses. And they don't care. They just don't care. They don't get it. They're so out of touch with America. So out of touch. And the more they do this, the more they're jeopardizing their own party. Because people are not going to forget 2020. They're definitely not going to forget 2020. And history, when we go back and we look at the research and we see how this was handled by all these governors, you better believe the truth is going to come out. We're going to see real numbers, raw numbers. We're going to see who, what, when, where, what, who did the right job. And at the end of the day, I strongly believe, and I will say this, I strongly believe Donald Trump handled the COVID-19 pandemic excellent. Disagree with me? Agree with me? I don't care. That is my opinion. I don't think anybody was expecting something like this. And I believe he had enough respect for American people and the American, our country, to have faith that we would do the right thing for our fellow Americans and that we would follow the guidelines that were provided for us by the CDC. That's it. He just gave us an option. He didn't want to impose anything. He didn't want to force anything. He gave us an option, which is usually how a republic and a democracy works. But apparently Gavin Newsom, Andrew Cuomo, I don't even waste my time to know who the governor of Oregon or Michigan, everyone knows who she is. The hypocrite herself, who apparently has lockdowns, but her husband is allowed to go out on his boat. That he is allowed to do. Others have to stay home, stay isolated, lose your businesses. But if her husband wants to take a little trip on a boat, why not? He needs a little time to, to be free. He needs a little time to enjoy himself as others lose their businesses. That's he's living in tough times. It's just the continued attacks that we're continuously seeing all over this country on Americans. Walmart tweeted out that Senator Hawley was a sore loser. Can you believe that? Walmart, a company. When have you ever seen this happen in our nation? And when are we going to put a stop to it? When are we going to show these people, and when I mean these people, these elites, these so-called Americans that think they're above us, when are we going to show them that we the people call the shots in this country? No one else. We control what happens in this country. Many, many Americans, I meet them every day. On the 24th, I met a couple in my neighborhood that showed me the original uniform that both their fathers wore. They're married and both their fathers wore it and fought in World War II. This is what America stands for. These were people that put their lives on the line for these exact freedoms, for these suckers, these garbage politicians that only pocket themselves and enrich themselves, and they see the rest of America falling apart. Criticize. This is what they think they control this country. They hate this country. The liberals hate this. I've come to the conclusion. I spend the entire day, this day in, day out, debating. And I honestly, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. The evidence can be right in front of them. Nobody will take it. The hate for this country is beyond imaginable. I've never seen so many young people hate this country so much. What happened to the good old days when they actually taught you American values? Where they taught you the simplest thing, mowing a lawn. I mean, there's so many things that people are restricted. You can't sell lemonade anymore. You got to get a permit in order to sell lemonade in your own house or in your neighborhood. You can't mow other people's lawns. I mean, they're taking away these fundamental things that raise people like me. That I used to help my grandfather mow lawns, and he used to give me $5. I used to do most of the work. He was old. I didn't know at the time, but $5 for me was a lot of money. So he used to pay me. I used to go with him. I used to mow a lawn. It showed me how to appreciate money. But no, the youth, they're being breastfed off. They're being breastfed all the way till they're 21 years old, 22 years old. Still living in mommy's house, going to college. And mind you, mommy and daddy are most likely Republicans, and they're literally paying. Okay, they are literally paying for their kids to be brainwashed by left-wing ideology in all these universities. This is where this country is. And it's been forming this way for a long time. This is what they've been doing. This is what the left has been doing. They're getting into colleges. They're teaching certain ideologies. They're not teaching history anymore. They're teaching their history, what they believe occurred in history. And that's not the way it should be. We all know American history can be nasty, can be an ugly thing. America has gone through stages that we should be ashamed of. But through those stages, we learned and we became a great nation, a nation that's admired and looked upon by all other countries as a superior country. Can you believe? Okay, I'm going to throw two things at you. I'm going to jump from something else. I'm going to jump to the election. Can you believe that people believe that they did some poll that we rank 54 out of 59? Okay, 54 out of 59. We're in 54th place in election integrity. Can you believe that? That means that there is countries that are literally dictatorships, communist countries that had better elections than us. This is something that Americans should be concerned about. Americans should be concerned about the simple fact that a Gallup poll just made Donald Trump the most admired man, and Joe Biden was trailing behind, and Obama was number 2. That is something to make you think. You would assume the guy that got 80 million votes would be the most admired man. Yeah, it's not making sense, is it? Start piecing the pieces to the puzzle. Things are just not making sense. Things in this country are just not making sense. And I can't put it together. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't put it together. I can't figure out why Mitch McConnell out of a sudden decided to put out a bill that's more beneficial to Trump's agenda. Is he intentionally doing it because he knows it's going to take too long for it to get through Congress? And at the time that he's putting it out there, we're talking about the 31st, New Year's. Did he do it intentional? I mean, these are all questions we all have, but again, we don't have answers to them. Will we have answers to them? God knows. I don't know. Little by little, we're getting bits and pieces, and I think most Americans are starting to put the pieces together. I am, at least. I mean, my social is pretty credible. There was some big things that occurred, and there's more to come. From my understanding, more to come. More serious allegations as well are yet to come. So, I mean, again, we're living in a country where we don't know where we're at, who we are, who's our friend, who's our foe. And the reason we're like that is because we're so divided right now. This country is divided, and at some point we have to unify. At some point, we all have to come together as Americans with an equal cause. Okay, and all Americans across the board should be very disappointed in this election. We should all feel comfortable when an election occurs that our vote was counted properly, didn't go through 3 or 4 different countries, and that there was no possibility of rigging of an election, especially in the United States of America. But unfortunately, that is what occurred. And I will stand by it. I will stand by it. I don't care. I don't care the criticism. Listen, I take so much beatings from the left every single day. And I take it, you know why I don't get triggered? Because I know I'm on the right side of history. I know I'm on the right side of history. I know my logic and what I've been seeing and what I've been reading tells me that something's not right here. I can't investigate it. I don't have access to that. I'm not part of Trump's legal team. I haven't seen evidence. But I've seen enough to know we have a problem. That this is a problem not just about who becomes president of the United States, but this is a problem of how corrupt is this government that we so-call the government of the people. How corrupt are they? How invested are they in themselves? And how invested are they in the people? We the people. And those are the questions that are continuously going through my head. And these are questions we all have to ask ourselves. And how far are we willing to go? How far are we willing to go to defend this country? How far were our ancestors willing? I mean, how far were they willing to go? How many Americans died for the freedoms and for the fundamental rights that this country gives us? And those are questions we all have to really, really take in, think, and then afterwards really start analyzing the situation and think to ourselves, are we willing to fight for our cause? Are we willing to fight to defend America? I could never see myself ever fighting against a fellow, like a police officer. That's just me. Unfortunately, I have too much respect for them. And I understand that that's one of the reasons the Proud Boys have a lot of issues. They play by the rules. Whereas Antifa does not play by the rules. They don't care because they hate cops. Yet they'll hide behind cops when they're scared. But at some point, either you're with us or you're against us. And I'll leave you with that thought. I'll let that all throughout your day. I'll let you guys just brainstorm on these specific comments that I've made today. God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless this beautiful country we call America. We've always got to be very, very appreciative of the fact that we are Americans and we live in this beautiful country. Don't let the left tell you otherwise. This is the greatest country on this planet by far. So every one of you that's an American patriot out there that loves this country, don't ever feel ashamed of it. This is the best country in the world. Believe me, my family fled over here for that exact reason. So that being said, be proud of being American. Don't let the left shame you on anything. You do not have to be ashamed because of what your skin color is or because you love your country. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And if they want to call you a racist, fuck them. If they want to call you a deplorable, fuck them. Who cares? Doesn't matter. You have plenty of Americans to support you. Believe me, there's more of us than you think. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful day. Don't get into too many arguments today.
We will make America great again.